Hello, Internet! It's time for another Wednesday's serial, and this time, a comic load. I had this really amazing thing happen where I went to the comic store yesterday, and then I just wound up with this pile of amazing comics, so I just wanted to run through and talk about why each one was like, yes, this is why I love comics! First up is Echo 25, and this is Terry Moore's ongoing series right now, and it is just awesome. And this issue it felt like a lot of payoff. They had this great little moment where they talk about why the villain, who's named Cain, can't be the biblical Cain because he's white, and they talk about some genetics there, and it's like this interesting little factoid that works because it proves something about the character, and it's just amazing how it's all interlaced. And also, I mean, we get a awesome action scene, a little bit of sci-fi, which is nice because it's been a lot of drama and talking with bits of action here and there, and I just really felt like this issue's pulling it together and keeping me on board, so I was really happy to read that. Next up, Rebels 21, and this issue is awesome. The cover, totally indicative. You have Lobo, who's been on for a couple issues, but I thought it was just going to be a passing thing. In this issue, you see that he's going to be with the team for a while, which is really interesting, the way they weave that all in. The way they take what was happening with Lobo in 52 and a couple events shortly thereafter, and just how that makes him beholden to part of the team through financial debts, really. And the way that it's all working, this book has always been great, but it's always been really cerebral, and they're finally bringing in a few more well-known characters, and it's getting a little more action-based on top of all the political interlacing, which is really interesting to see how they kind of take a dig at the Green Lantern Corps, which is also really fun to read because you always have Green Lanterns being the hero because it's such a big DC property, so it's all here, and now you're kind of getting a different angle, and it just makes the book so much more fun. And this is the sort of thing that you can do with a shared universe. It doesn't always have to be mega events, it's just these shared ideas and the way you can play off them. And that's the sort of thing you can't do with an independent book, and that's why this is so awesome. And Secret 626, and I'm sure everyone in reviewing is telling you, if you're not picking up Secret 6, go back, check it out, and then get caught up, because this is consistently one of the best books you can be picking up. And you have the team split up from different ways, and they're bringing in some other different characters, and it's a war over a sovereign nation that's going to have direct implication to America, and you know the grand big, I'll give it away, nuclear threat is not going to happen clearly, but the way that they're going about it and seeing how these characters are fighting each other for it is just awesome, and it's so well built. And I'll admit, if you haven't read some of the earlier stuff, this arc won't carry the same weight, but at the same time, it's 26 issues in. Go pick up the early stuff, go pick this up. It's some of the best stuff you can be reading, hands down. Next up, Shadowland Spider-Man, and I've been talking about a Daredevil thing coming up this weekend, but this issue is the only thing I've read of Shadowland thus far, and this issue is completely self-contained. I mean, it ties in with other stuff, obviously, it's part of this event, but it is this whole aside, and this issue is just amazing. It's a great example of who Spider-Man is as a character. It shows you Shang-Chi, the master of Kung Fu, and what he's about, and you get this interplay with the characters, and the way that they use Mr. Negative in here as well is just, I can't believe this was just one comic. There's so much in here, and it went by so fast. It was just like the perfect one issue, and it's going to have some implications, but you see a major character development for Shang-Chi, even if you don't know who he is, which I really didn't before this issue. I knew of his existence, that was it. By the end, I knew a bit about him, and I saw this major change, and I was like, wow, having that much character development, and he's not even the main character, is just awesome. So I would definitely recommend that issue, even if you're not picking up anything else in Shadowland. If you have any love for Marvel or Spider-Man at all, that is worthwhile. SHEILD 4. Now, in quick reviewing, all that I can really say is a few things come together. We see a bit more about Nostradamus and Da Vinci and these things finally pushing forward. But at this rate, if you haven't been reading it, wait for a trade. And when the trade comes out, damn well pick this up. But it's so Hickman, I mean, just so many ideas and stuff floating around, and it's just so interesting to see this take on these famous inventors then in the Marvel U, and it's just it's an amazing book. Then against all my better intentions, I picked up Uncanny X-Force, which when I picked it up I said this is either going to be horrible or awesome. And every now and again I'll pick up a Marvel book like this because I know that if I pick up one that sucks, then I don't pick it up anymore, which is great. And this I picked up because it had Phantom X, which was a character I was interested in back when. I haven't followed him explicitly, but I have a lot of what he's been in. He's always a character that interests me because he was such a great spin on a couple of different archetypes and then putting them together. And then Deadpool, which I have a bit of a weakness for despite my ripping it so much lately. That's because I loved the character so much. And it's great to see in here that Deadpool, and that's where the issue starts out, Deadpool's written the way I understand Deadpool. But this isn't a Deadpool comic, so the fact that the focus was a little different, whatever. I mean, this is X-Men, X-Force. They actually make a big point in this book about they're not the X-Men. It's not this jovial thing. They're this squad put together to deal with these specific problems, and they don't necessarily have love for each other, but these characters believe in what they do. And there's a great play with Phantom X and Wolverine that's funny, and the way Wolverine is written here is actually engaging and interesting, which is wonderful. And then you have Archangel, and I've been reading X-Men for as long as I can remember, and I never understood that when he's Angel versus when he's Archangel is like a different personality coming out. I didn't know that, and now I do. And then the way they weave that in is with Betsy or Psylocke, and seeing all this character interplay. And I mean, this is a great small team book, and small team books are always better because it's not all over the place. But you just have 5 characters here, at least for now, and I really think this series is going to be the best possible X-book you can be picking up, and the most fun. And also, I mean, the art is just great. So that's always good to hear, and it's with artists I haven't seen before, so I'm hoping they keep on and do it and that they don't switch to something that's lesser, because that would really bring this book down. And with the price point, I'm trying to battle myself to not get it, but it's so what I've been missing that I think I'm going to suck it up and buy it. So yeah, there you have it. I haven't done one of these in a while, but I thought it would be fun, so hopefully you enjoy. And I will hit you soon with another comic review.